Hello, you're very welcome to Danu's Irish Herb Garden. And today it's a very wet, damp day in Connemara, so tomorrow is promised to be good, and that's when I intend to go out and start planting again. But in the meantime, like a lot of people, I've been feeling anxious about this pandemic, not for my own sake, but because both my daughters are living away and I just want them to be here so we can all be together. But there's no point sitting around worrying and getting more and more panicky. It's better to put your energies into doing something positive and empowering. So I am busy here working with 4 Thieves Vinegar, and I'm going to make a 4 Thieves oil. So I just want to make a disclaimer here before anybody goes, oh my God, what's she talking about? This is purely for educational, entertainment, value, and you can follow it and use it if you want to. It's something I personally find empowering, but I am not a medical expert. I'm certainly not a coronavirus expert, and nobody is actually. But nevertheless, I am not saying this replaces any kind of medical treatment at all. It's something I'm going to do because I find it empowering, and I believe that these herbs are powerful antibacterial, anti-infective herbs. So, disclaimer out of the way. Here I have my jar that I made about 4 or 5 days ago. It contains chopped up rosemary, sage, thyme, lavender. They're the 4 main herbs. There is also some crushed garlic and some cloves, ground cloves in here. And I've used apple cider vinegar because apple cider vinegar has its own antibiotic, antibacterial properties. And what I'm going to do is transfer some of this into my little spray bottle just to keep the house fresh, clean, and to use on surfaces and door handles and that kind of thing. So that's there ready made. What I'm going to show you to do now is how to make the same thing in a body oil. Because it's worth bearing in mind that our body, all our skin, which is an organ, is covered in bacteria, which usually protects us from outside invaders. And obviously, if we put all these herbs into an oil, we can use it as a body oil. We can dab a little bit into our nostrils, into our ears, just in the top corner of our eyes. And we're boosting our immune system because this microbiome that surrounds us is part of our immune system. So all aromatic herbs have antibacterial properties to some extent, but lavender is also a nervine. So lavender is just going to help you feel a little bit relaxed, a little bit safer, and less prone to panic and anxiety. So I'm going to chop up some lavender. Now, the microbiome which surrounds our body and which is in our gut is part of our immune defense. And a lot of people are panicking because they can't get hold of hand sanitizers. And really, they're not the best thing, in my opinion, because what they do is they kill all the bacteria, including all the good bacteria. And soap and water is sufficient to clean your hands and kill off this current nasty virus. But you want your good bacteria to remain healthy. So use soap and water. And of course, you can put a little dab of this oil on. So now I've just chopped up some rosemary. And the next one I'm putting in is thyme. Now, thyme is a very powerful antiviral. It's been used since time immemorial. And up until quite recent modern times, it was always used in Irish hospitals. It was burned to keep the air fresh and clean. Because what happens is, as the thyme oil or the thyme herb is burning, it releases molecules which meet in the air with the molecules of destruction, the dangerous ones, and it eliminates them. So, you know, you could have thyme oil in a diffuser if you think you're going to be more at risk, and keep that burning in the house all the time. Keep it pumping out. And now lovely sage. Sage is a very good antibacterial, antiseptic herb, and the reason I'm chopping them up is because the smaller these pieces of herb material are, the more likely the oil is going to draw out their constituents. Now, usually if you're making, or if I am making, an infused oil, I like to just leave it to sit in the oil for a number of weeks. But time is of the essence here, so I'm going to gently heat it on the stove. Now, I think that's enough actually for the amount of oil that I have to cover it. So just going to glug in the oil. So about the four thieves, the legend, you know, it refers to various different situations like this over the centuries. And depending which recipe you come across, there could be different herbs involved. There's many herbs you could include. If you don't have these, you could use meadowsweet, you could use juniper, you could use bog myrtle, you could use mugwort. You know, just check which ones you have, which ones are near you, and supplement those instead of if you don't have any of these. I'm going to put in a few cloves as well, a sprinkle of the ground cloves, just because it smells so lovely, because that also is going to offer support. I'm not going to put any garlic in this because I don't want the smell of garlic when I've used the oil. And now I'm just going to pop that on the stove with the lid on to keep in any volatile oils and leave it to simmer for maybe, I don't know, 2 to 3 hours. So this oil has been simmering away for about 4 hours. So I'm going to take it off. It's very hot, it's very warm, it's still bubbling. I have a funnel and some muslin, because I'm going to strain the oil into this bottle, which I'm recycling. And, oops. I don't want the herb material to go into the bottle. I just want it to be an oil. So it's changed colour a little bit because the herbs have infused into the oil really well because of the heat of the stove. I could probably get a spoonful more in. There. And that's it. It's so simple. You don't even really have to do anything. I would advise you cut the herbs a little bit more finely than you saw me doing. I actually did it again while they were in the pan. And this oil now, when it's cooled, I can put maybe a tablespoon into the bath water or use it after a bath or after a shower. And you only need to put a little bit in the palm of your hand and, you know, just rub it. It doesn't have to, you don't have to engulf yourself with it. It's just a little bit of oil to offer a bit of extra protection. And as I said at the beginning in the disclaimer, I'm not a medical expert. It's up to you whether you believe in the power of herbs or not. I think they're very powerful and very effective. And do consider that 80% of the world's population today, herbal medicine is their primary form of healthcare. All drugs come from herbs practically. And we've been using herbal medicine for centuries and centuries and millennia. So obviously it has worked. Why turn your back on it? Even if you're not 100% sure, add it to your arsenal of home remedies. Add it to your arsenal of pharmaceutical remedies. Just use it. There's no harm in using it. It's certainly not going to be deleterious or bad for you. It's going to be of some benefit. So happy days, good health to all, and see you next time.